Oh, hi guys. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. And this is Eleanor. She doesn't like the bright light, so she buries her head in my elbow here. But I wanted to introduce you guys to Eleanor. Since you guys are getting to know Buddy so well, you're going to get to know Eleanor as well. I made a quick video yesterday, day before yesterday, of our visit to the vet, but I'm not sure if I really introduced you to her well enough. And so I'm going to tell you our story together so far and tell you a little bit about our first misadventure and my first big mistake as a cat dad. I'll tell you about that in a second, but I'm going to give her a second to... She is this little. She looks small because she is. She's about 5.6 pounds, I think, and she's a sweetheart. So while she's here resting in my arms and she's purring, I thought I would tell you how I met little lady Eleanor. So is it 2 nights ago? Was it 2 nights ago? I think it was 2 nights ago. I was walking Buddy. And I saw what? Well, there's Eleanor. Oh. Do you want to go down? All right. You're going to stay in my lap? No. Okay. So, hi. So I was walking Buddy. Sometimes he wants me to walk with him, and sometimes he wants to walk by himself. And that was a night where he wanted me to go with him. So eventually he found something to distract him and he ran off. So that was fine. It relieved me of my duty of walking with him. So on the way back to my apartment, I looked down and I saw a little white fuzzy thing, Eleanor, under a car. So I walked over and she didn't move when I walked by. Most of these feral cats around us just like teleport away. But she stayed there, and I went down and I pet her little head. Her head is this big. It's the size of, I don't know, I don't even know. It's teeny. Her head is so small. I pet her head, and she moved out a little bit more, and her posture seemed that she was amenable to being held, and so I picked her up, and she clung to me with her little teeny little razor-like claws, and and she just clung there, and she purred within like seconds. And I'm like, oh my God, this is how people become hoarders, cat hoarders. I know it. I know this is what happens. So she's holding on to me desperately, and I'm holding her. And she's so thin and so frail, she won't be for long because she does like to eat. But I thought, oh my God, she needs to eat something. So I went up to my apartment, and I brought her with me, and I put her down in front of some of Buddy's food, and she nibbled right away. And then she drank some water, and then she kind of looked feebly like afraid. So I picked her up again, and she held me, and I thought, oh my God, I love this little cat. I just love this little cat. She's so tiny. I thought she was a kitten, and I thought, oh, this poor little baby. And so I'm holding her thinking, oh, I want her, but I can't have another cat in my apartment, especially a female stray cat in my apartment with Buddy. He's a horn dog, and I just couldn't let it happen. And so I'm holding her thinking, oh, I can't. And I was petting her little head, and I felt one of her ears is a little ragged, and I thought, oh gosh, you poor thing. And I remembered that one sign of a cat having been TNR'd, trapped, neutered, and released, is that they clip one of her ears. Boy, she uses the litter box a lot. She's using it again, probably the second time in 10 minutes. And I know I sound like I fixate a lot on cat poop. Between her and Buddy, I'm always looking. But she so I looked and I thought that it was a sign of her being trapped, neutered, and released. And so I went to look at her belly, and indeed there was a little incision. So I'm thinking, well, she's neutered, so maybe I could keep her. She's tiny. So I don't know. I thought, oh, I really love this cat instantly. Love at first sight. If you're a cat person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I let her walk around the apartment, and then I brought Buddy in. Now, I've seen a couple videos on introducing two cats to each other, and they doesn't always go well. I was expecting the worst. And in any case, if it did not go well, Buddy is my friend. Buddy is my little buddy. He is first. No matter what happens, Buddy is my little soulmate. I get emotional about that. So whatever happened, Buddy was going to stay here. There's no way that anybody else could replace Buddy. So, but when he came in, he just kind of met noses with her and was pretty chill. He walked past her with one little like, yeah, like, ugh. And I hear Buddy outside yelling at another cat. It's not good. He needs to get his little snip done. So what was I saying? So Buddy seemed pretty chill. The next morning, I was off. That was the day before yesterday. The next morning I was off, and my plan was just to study for recurrent, because I had recurrent yesterday. I'll make a separate video about my recurrent experience. Recurrent being our annual recertification. So the next day I was just going to stay in the house and study all day long. But I let Buddy out, and then I looked at Eleanor, and I saw that one of her eyes was literally almost squished shut, and there was like green stuff around her eye. So it was clear that she had an eye infection. At first, because of her face being black and white, I thought she was kind of looking at me like this. But one of her eyes was like infected seriously, which makes me think I have to really keep an eye on Buddy's eyes, because they did touch noses once. And I looked at her little incision to see what was going on down there, and that looked like it was infected as well. So yesterday morning, I put her in Buddy's carrier, and I brought her over to a new vet that's relatively close to my apartment. She's so cute. It's called Paradise Animal Hospital, I think. I believe one of you folks suggested them, and I totally know why, because they were fantastic. If you're in the Las Vegas area, it's right near Target. Is it Flamingo or Tropicana? I forgot. She's looking at me like, you're not petting me. So I took her over to Paradise Animal Hospital, and they were just superb. Their staff was super charming, super sweet. And they seemed to appreciate what I was doing for little Eleanor here. Because, she could have continued to get sick and not been able to hunt or find food. I don't know how she would have found food with one eye. I don't know. But she really could have died out there. And so they were appreciative of what I was doing for her. And the doctor was great. We didn't spend much time together, but he did not try to upsell me on other services. He said, let's take care of these infections right away, because he agreed that her eye was infected and that her incision was infected. So he said, let's take care of these things right now. And he didn't try to oversell me, which I really respected. And he was really careful and very respectful of Eleanor and myself. And it was nice. It was a very nice visit. And it was quick. I think within a half hour, I was walking out with eye drops, eye wash, and he suggested some Neosporin or something for her belly. She got a rabies shot. She got a antibiotic shot, and of course the prescription for her little eye drops. And that was day before yesterday, that morning. So I gave her eye drops twice, morning and night. And then yesterday morning, before I went to her current, I gave her eye drops. Last night, I gave her eye drops. So that's like 4 doses. I guess she had 5 doses. Her eye is totally wide open and seems totally normal. I am so pleased with her ability to heal. And this eye drop, I'm not sure what's in it, but boy, it just knocked that eye infection right out. I'm going to keep giving her the drops until they're done because I don't want it to come back. Her incision looks good. I've been putting Neosporin on it. She has not been licking it. Now, I'm going to admit, and this is 11 minutes in, I'm sorry. Anybody who follows directions from their doctor to the letter, I'm not that person sometimes. They gave me an e-collar, which is apparently short for Elizabethan collar. It's a plastic cone that probably weighs more than she does. The plastic cone they gave me was huge. There's no way her head could have come out to eat. So they wanted me to put it on her and then take it off of her when she wanted to eat and put it back on her. And there's just no way she could have literally lifted that cone. She would have had to walk around dragging it. So I didn't put it on her. But she has not licked her. Well, she did try to lick her belly once, but I went, nope, don't do that. She stopped. Weird. And she has not licked her belly once, even with the Neosporin stuff on it. So she's healing beautifully. And if you just saw, she's wide awake. And she's fantastic. I am so happy with her. It's only been a couple of days, but she has already found a place in my heart, certainly in my home. Buddy doesn't seem to absolutely detest her. Doesn't mean he likes her, especially since she seems to have found a home in his favorite chair. But if anything, I will say that Buddy has been, when he's wanted to stay in the apartment, because sometimes he doesn't want to be here when she's in the apartment. He'd rather be outside. But when he comes in at night to sleep, the past 2 nights, he has actually come up in bed with me and slept next to me, which he doesn't always do. So I think he may have been feeling a little bit jealous of my attention to the other cat, as much as I've been trying to give Buddy as much attention. He's a boy, you know. He's been much more affectionate when he's been up there in bed with me. So I've been giving him a little extra love, and he seems to be chill. He seems to be okay. He's out for a walk now, but he'll come back later on. And when he walks in, he'll just look at her, or he'll look for her. He'll look for her to make sure he knows where she is and maybe that she's still here. And then he kind of goes, okay, and then finds his spot. It's really good. So I think I mentioned this already, but I love Eleanor. She is the perfect little cat. She's so affectionate. She just loves to be rubbed and brushed, and her tail will flip around like a little puppy. She's the perfect little cat. She's, in a way, everything Buddy's not. Buddy isn't super affectionate. I want a cat that wants to cuddle and hang out and, sit in your lap. And Buddy's not that person. He is not that cat. And that's fine, because Buddy is who he is. But this little cat, Eleanor, is that cuddly little kitten. But Buddy is this independent, very proud, regal cat. And he's just so damn handsome. And when he wants love, he's very chill about it, very kind of calm, a little reserved. And his presence is really satisfying in a very different way. So I love both of them, just in very different ways. We'll see. I'm sorry, it's almost 15 minutes into this, and I'm just now telling you what a rotten guy I am. Maybe not a rotten guy. I had the best of intentions. When Buddy goes outside, Eleanor watches him go out and watches him come in. And once in a while, she walks over to the door and she kind of sniffs around the bottom of the door. And in my mind, I think she's trying to smell freedom, because she was a stray cat. So in my mind, I'm thinking she really wants to go outside. That's what I think in my head. Of course I don't know anything because I've never had a cat before, Buddy. She smells around the door and then she kind of goes away, and she'll come back to it once in a while. And I think, I know that she wants to go outside, but she doesn't know this area very well, and she wouldn't come back to my apartment like Buddy does. She doesn't know where she is. So I took a bus to PetSmart, which was like a 2-hour long ordeal. I didn't want to spend the money on an Uber. So I took a bus, or a series of buses, over to PetSmart. And I bought a little harness. And so she goes into it really nice and easy. She steps in here, you put her little feet in there, her head's over here, and this goes in behind. And so I bought this, $16, and I thought it was cute. And then I bought a leash, a real thin one. I didn't want like a thick, heavy leash because she's so darn small, you know. And if she's 5 or 6 feet away, I don't want all this weight of a regular leash around. So this was $18.95, $20. Yeah, well, this was a mistake. So I picked her up. I put the harness on her as snug as I thought I should. That's a little foreshadowing for you folks who already know what's gonna follow next. I put this on as snugly as I thought it should be. I didn't want it too tight because she instantly really did not want it on her body. So I didn't put it on too tight, but I put it on snugly enough that I didn't think she would get out. Yep. So we went out. The minute I walked out of the apartment, I was holding her with the leash and the harness on. And I walked out the door, and she instantly was like, wow, no, not happy. And I put her down on the ground, and she looked into the window into my apartment, and she was literally trying to get back in the apartment through the window. But here in my head, I really thought she wanted to be outside. So we walked down. I walked her. I carried her down to a grassy little area near the pool. And I put her down on the grass with a little length of the leash. And she just hunkered down there, didn't want to move. So I patted her to calm her down. She stood there, and she took off like an arrow. Whoosh! Ran. The leash is on. So she runs and jumps, and she goes up in an arc like a kite, and she lands on her feet. And I'm worried because of her incision, but she's healing really nicely. And then she jumps a couple times, and so I kind of gently pull her in, and thank God this little harness pulls her from the whole body, not her neck. I can't understand why those things are still made. And so I bring her in, and I pick her up, and we sit there, and I think, well, this is her getting used to it. I set her down again, a moment or two, give her a couple pats, she's fine, and she takes off like a light again, and she slips right out of the harness, free as a bird. I have a heart attack instantly because she doesn't know where she is. This isn't her native neighborhood, and she's just gone like a flash. I'm thinking I'm gonna die. This poor cat's gonna die, and then I'll be ashamed to tell you guys that I was just such an idiot. So she went whoosh under a bush. I went over, and there she was, huddled down like a little ball, shaking. And so I wanted her to smell my hand before I grabbed her. She kind of sniffed it, didn't calm down. So I just kind of pat her head. She calmed down. I picked her up, and I brought her back into the apartment. And she went right to the food and the water. She went and took a little pee in the litter box. And then we hung out for a few minutes. I brushed her for a few minutes, and she purred, and she calmed down, and it was all good. She doesn't seem to remember the trauma of what just happened, but I feel so guilty. I feel awful. I should hire like a trainer, like how to own a cat, you know. So yeah, so the harness, $40. Someone just gifted me money, I think, to help me pay for her vet bill. It was very nice. It was the last time. I hope that she does it, because she did it one other time for Buddy, and I just feel guilty. So part of that went towards this. Well, this, because it was more than this, went to paying for this. And it's probably never going to be used again. So I may hold on to this and have her try to wear it around the house for a day or two. But I'm going to put it on much tighter. I may have her try it on and have her wear it for a day or two, maybe. Because, you know, in my head, I still want her to go outside and walk around. Maybe I should just accept that she's going to be an indoor cat. Worst case scenario, there's a lot of people in my complex who have cats. And so what I'll do, if I'm not going to use these for her, Buddy's certainly not going to need them, I'll leave them in a communal area in our mail room that people leave stuff for other people. So I'm sure another cat will be able to use these things. I just feel stupid for having gone out and done this. I just had it in my heart that she wanted to go outside. And maybe she doesn't. You know, right now, doesn't look like she ever wants to leave that chair. So that is all about Eleanor. I would pick her up and show her to you again, but she seems really comfortable in that chair right now. And I'm sure you'll see more of her in future videos, hopefully with Buddy. Buddy's great. You look at him today and you look at him compared to the first time we met, and that was just 4 months ago. That was just on November 20th. But if you look at the before and after with Buddy, you don't even recognize the same cat. He is so healthy and full-figured. Without being fat, he's just muscular, and he's just so handsome and regal, and he's got a real ego. But you wouldn't recognize him. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with Eleanor, and if she fills out a little bit, because she is built like a sparrow. But there you go. This video is way longer than I intended it to be. I just wanted to introduce you to Eleanor a little bit more thoroughly than that video when she was at the vet's office. But there you go. If you see another video of me in the same shirt with the same date, it is because I think I'm going to make another video with a little chat about my recurrent experience, which is, again, my annual recertification to remain a flight attendant. So I may do another video about that tonight. And if so, you'll see me again in a few minutes. If not, I'll do it again later. Have a good night, fly safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.